Hey folks, Dave the Not So Evil Viking 13 here, returning to work on my rebuild of Sanctuary Hills, and I'm still working on a new name for it besides Fortress Sanctuary. I'm leaning towards New Sanctuary because, well, it's a new sanctuary. By the time that we're done with it, it's going to be a full thriving city, and I think New Sanctuary has a good ring to it. I'm going to do a bit of building at nighttime here, so I'm going to switch on our streetlight system. I'm very carefully dividing our electric grid up into sectors to make sure that I don't absolutely kill my frame rate with just things like power lines and lights, because as you guys probably know, power lines and lights are two of the heaviest hitters when it comes to getting your settlements super laggy very early on. What we're going to be working on today, once things load in here, is possibly the hospital and clinic, which is going to be in this house, but also possibly the welcome center. I'm trying to avoid turning my camera around because this build is getting to the point where there's areas that I don't want you guys to see just yet. You'll have to wait until the final tour for some of this stuff. Got a few bits here from the original build. Let's go ahead and scrap all that. Yeah, let's start with some work on the Welcome Center. I'm feeling a bit inspired for that. Might leave that lamp here. Okay. This used to be the gym in my original build. Oh, before I forget, for those of you guys that missed the video, somehow my version 1.0 of my Wasteland wall mod is out on Xbox and PC. Of course, I can't release it on PlayStation because Sony blocks the uploading of new models, unfortunately. But for you guys playing on PC or on Xbox, it is out right now for download. I'm going to start things off by sealing up a couple of things here in the house. Again, because there are things that I don't want you guys to see just yet. The build is progressing quite nicely, but I want to leave some secrets for that final tour. So, I'm going to take a full wall section here. Actually, I'm going to use this piece that has the fan attached to it instead of that random piping piece. So I'll glitch that into the wall just a bit. What I'm thinking for the Welcome Center, guys, is going to be a mix of a synth greeting area, because the Minutemen, by destroying the Institute and siding with the railroad just a bit, are working with synths. I think Nick Valentine really convinced my character in the main story that there was more to synths than just machines, just being machines. Besides the two guest rooms in our Welcome Center, I think I'm going to have a center, or a work room basically, for helping to check the memories of synths to make sure that we don't have any, assassin synths in our midst. Not really a, how do I describe this? Not a overbearing military medical procedure, but just a safe place that synths can check in and have themselves checked out medically by some of the Minutemen's best technicians and doctors before they find a place in Minutemen's society. So we're going to have a room here with, I think, a memory lounger and some computer equipment to just help them integrate into society. Last episode we worked on the slums outside of town, and just so I'm clear, in my personal lore, we're not really excluding people from Sanctuary because of, oh, they don't have enough caps to get in, necessarily. It's really more of a fact that we have those security background checks and all that we talked about way back in 2015 when I first built a settlement here at Sanctuary, and not everyone is going to be able to get in. So people that are outside the walls aren't necessarily, like I said, people who just couldn't afford to get in, but they might just be people who didn't have a great background check. So guys, I am imagining this room here as our synth integration center. I'm imagining, guys, this inner room right here as our synth integration center. They don't necessarily need a guest room to stay in because they're synths, they don't have to sleep. So just for the sake of space, I think I'm going to leave the rooms in here that will be rentable for our human guests, but this room back here will be a place where synths can feel welcome and get acquainted with how things work here in Sanctuary. And with a couple of walls there, we should now have room to put doors in for the guest rooms. Kind of like these gray style doors from Snappy Build, which ironically are not wanting to snap at all. Okay, I'll just use place everywhere to place them. We'll just keep moving for now. This used to be the schoolhouse, but you guys had a good point that the schoolhouse was right inside of the main gate, which was not a great position for it. I'm gonna glitch into the ceiling for a second here, guys, because I think... Oh yeah, look at all this. I've got some old shack floors from the old version of the build that I used to seal in the roof by glitching them inside. Don't need those anymore because I have a mod that repairs the houses just a bit, as you guys can see right there, so that the ceiling's not full of holes. So that'll save some frame rate by not having to manually rebuild those ceilings. So we've got our synth welcome area. I'm trying to imagine what that's like. I think it might use some institute pieces. We'll see. Then our two rentable rooms. I imagine some kind of main desk right here. And perhaps a common area for getting you acquainted. I'm going to use place everywhere to scrap that oil lamp. Although the light is staying behind. Oh yeah, I can't delete the light, that's right. Whoops. Could have just left it. So I'm thinking for the inside of this room, we're going to have very clean furniture for the synths. I think we have some institute chairs actually. I think Homemaker's going to have most of that. Oh yeah, there's the institute chairs. Along with a memory lounger. Oh yeah, now that would make a lot of sense for us to have one of these here for the synths. What I'm imagining here, guys, is a place where synths can talk with their fellow kind and some computers to help them work through some issues they might have had from their experiences with the Institute. We're going to be wanting to check them for any kind of severe issues that might be lying just under the surface. So this is not just a place for them to relax, it's a place where we can make sure that they're not going to, you know, be a murderer in disguise. Let's see, under power and miscellaneous, we have an actual terminal from the Institute, which I'm going to place here. It would make sense that we've stolen some of their technology, not just for keeping the trees growing, like we talked about for the main streets, but to work on synths as well. While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and add, I think, the first railroad flag I've ever placed in a settlement build. And this might look like a medical interrogation room of some kind, but the intentions here are good. We want the synths that arrive here at Sanctuary, if they've passed their background checks, to be ready to integrate into society. I think we need one hospital-style painting on the wall, even though it's not a hospital. supposed to be a happy place, but I still feel like modern art is appropriate in this case. That is a huge painting. We can fix that though. I'll resize it with place everywhere. There we go. That looks quite nice actually. The room's feeling less medical now. Maybe it's not. This does look like hospital artwork. And for you guys wondering where all these paintings come from, there is going to be a in-lore explanation during the final tour. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a welcome area where synths can essentially get a hardware checkup is probably a better way of looking at things. Got a danger radiation poster. Seems appropriate for this gigantic memory lounger machine. What I'm looking for though is a sign that is in here somewhere. I know I've seen it before. That says synths welcome. I want to have 2 of those signs. Okay, here we go. Nice big grammar mistake, but I like it. Synths welcome. I'm gonna put one, I think, below the Sanctuary sign as well. I think Sanctuary Hills is going to have a partial responsibility for helping synths integrate with the new Commonwealth government and the settlements under it in the aftermath of the destruction of the Institute. General Dave may have destroyed the Institute, but I think that leaves me with some of the responsibility of helping the synths out. And after all, I did help out the railroad quite a bit during the main quest, so it makes sense. As far as some props go, I know for sure I want to add some electronic gadgetry here. You have our console over there. I think perhaps a few small bits and bobs that are also part of the machinery here would also make sense. A control panel would actually make even more sense. This Institute style. So let's scrap that. I just wasted some materials. I have a control panel right there for the memory lounger. And I believe we're going to do a Institute microscope here. Yeah, I'm finding a lot of equipment here that actually works really well for our Institute check-in room. And of course there's going to be security cameras everywhere. Here we go. For the Welcome Center, we're going to have some TVs going. A nice lounge area for all the guests. But before I stop working on the Institute room, let's go back and add one of these small light panels to the wall over the console here. Okay, I'll have to scoot it back there myself. Yep, it's wanting to glitch like that, so let's just do a little bit of rotation. Okay. It's a pretty good amount of salvaged Institute equipment right there. The Institute had so many green trees. Yeah. Well, That blocks things quite a bit. Let's scale it down some. Love the power of place everywhere. Awesome. Whew. All this toggling through the categories is starting to mess with my frame rate just a bit. I'm going to actually lower this down to the ground because I think it looks better if it's lined up a bit more with this green console. So if we do it like that, where it's kind of mounted to the floor, looks a bit more even, I think. And I scrapped the door off of this room, guys, because I want to find a more high-tech feeling door. That's the sliding closet door. That looks like a prison door. There we go. A sliding door, that might work well. But the sanctuary closet door is a pretty safe bet, I think. So I'll add that for now. So here's what I have in mind for the living room, guys. I want it to be a traditional pre-war style living room, just with post-war furniture for the most part. I think we definitely would put our best furniture in here, so I will be using a couple of pre-war style pieces like that chair, this couch, although that kind of blocks the TV, doesn't it? Or not the TV. That couch blocks the shelf. So perhaps the TV in the corner. And the chair here. And in this corner, I'm imagining a kind of breakfast nook style table. Just a small little, almost camper-sized breakfast corner. Some good chairs for that. Stools, possibly? Nah, we'll do just traditional dining style chairs. Oh, here we go. Perfect. The blue kind of clashes though, doesn't it? Let's go with white chairs. Put our ashtray over here. So this will be the welcome desk side over here. Let me place that down before I go too much further, because I might want to rethink the size of our living space if that's the case. I'm going to do a small desk for our front desk. What else does a hotel lobby have? Ah, secure storage. Yeah, we'll do a filing cabinet, but I also want some heavier duty safes of some kind, I think, for guests staying at the Welcome Center. Well, while I'm going through things to build, let's go ahead and put our dressers for the guest rooms. These will be pretty sparse, but cozy. Ooh, a washer and dryer. Now that says you've arrived. Would that fit at the end of the hallway? Oh, I think it would. Can you imagine in the apocalypse finding someone who's got a, worn down but repaired working washer and dryer? You're not having to wash your clothes in the polluted river? That'd be amazing. So yeah, a big selling point here of the welcome center is going to be our washer and dryer. Got a cool looking dresser. Would that fit out here somewhere? Not particularly. Just adding a couple of these furniture pieces down so I can just take a look at what we have here. Here we go. Some secure storage for the guests. We've got our lockers. I do want an end table for our compact living room. Oh, hey there, officer. Where are you going? Oh. Well, he likes the dining nook at least. Let's put... So we have the safes down. Got that down. Do we have a few other chairs that I could put down? Like, lounge chairs, essentially. What would be a good style? Those are pretty worn down from the war. I have 6 of these airplane seats. I'm just going to place them real quick so I can scrap them. I've been trying to do that as I go through my inventory because I stored way too many things when I really should have been scrapping them entirely. I think that's been a part of my FPS problems. If we go to the end here, we'll see some of the new Vault Tech stuff. Here we go. Get a very modern lounge feel with a couple of these chairs. I think I'm going to put the cabinet in front of this. And I'm going to go to do-it-yourself, which I just started using, and it is fantastic. I'm going to put a shelf in here, a pre-war shelf. Again, being the welcome center, some of our finest materials would go into this. And let's see. Snapping on, snapping's on. There's some of our decorative loot. But we have snappable clutter. So I can do some library books. For our welcome lounge. Let's see. Let's also put some books on the shelf right here. That looks nice. Love this mod. Should have been using it a long time ago. Makes you wonder how many people can actually read in the Commonwealth. But hey, I'm going to have a school here for too long in Sanctuary, so... Well, I guess we're doing the rugs next, seeing we're here. I like these modern rugs. That Since welcome sign, whoop, it's a little bit too big. I'm going to actually move this outside. I'm just staring at it there going, that's more of a distraction than anything. So I'm going to put it over here in case I change my mind. But I think a few paintings would look much better in here and keep with the homey feel we have going on here. Speaking of a down home feel, let's remove that overhead light and replace it with a few lamps in here. I think would work best. What options do we have for floor style lamps or side lamps? There we go. A fan would make sense. Oh, there's one right there actually that's dead and part of the house model. Now that is a changing table, but I imagine there's not very many babies in any settlement. So this is probably just a table in general. I doubt it's actually used for changing diapers. It's just a nice looking table at this point in the apocalypse. Now that wasn't my light. Was it? No, I can't click on it. It must not be. So if we're back here, yeah, I like these very cool curvy lamps. Let's do one for each room. And that's your only light, just a nice, soft, subtle light. Let's place the beds next for the guest rooms. They're going to be very clean, modern beds. I just heard a crashing sound. What was that? Those are kind of military style. Those are 2 Institute style. Yeah, they're very military looking, but might be our best option. This room could use a second storage something. That back corner. Here we go, a vault trunk behind the door. Tucked away in this kind of, I think it was a closet at one point. I thought I could build safes too. I think for my immersion, I'm going to have someone's luggage here on the bed. Yeah, I thought I could build the full-size safes, but this works too, I suppose. I wanted the front desk to have one. I'll hide it halfway underneath this cabinet for now. But I'm still thinking about putting a freestanding safe in and not the floor one. Whoa. There we go. Sank it into the ground by accident. Gonna have to turn our lights back on here shortly. It's getting dark again. I've been building for a while. So we've got our storage in here. Just need our final corner chairs. I think just a simple green one. Now, you want a good sitting chair. We'll go with these modern ones again. A simple chair for the room. That one there. That one there. Then a simple table as well. How big are these? That's pretty big, actually. These are nice and small. End tables. Good for a hotel-style room. I am stuck on the bed. Alright. There we go. I'll put one in here. Someone's got their cap stash. I might just leave that. So what does that leave? I think paintings. And just a couple of minor decorations, and that'll leave the last bit of decorating for me to take care of on my own. As usual, I don't want to spoil everything on these builds. We'll keep the Minutemen propaganda light-ish in here, perhaps. Do a small flag on this wall. Or could we do a flag pole? No, I like the flag on the wall. There will, however, be a Minutemen painting at the end of the hallway over the washer and dryer. Just resize that a bit. There we are. I like the look of that modern art. It fits well with this sanctuary style house. So let's add a few more of those. That's a cool one. Do we have room for it's the question. Possibly not. Yeah, not with the Minutemen flag there. So I'll just add a single painting for each room. Get rid of that mirror. Hang a big painting and a big painting. These do feel like hotel rooms now, guys. Oh, and of course we can't forget the chair for the front desk. Do a new style rolly chair. Yeah, guys, I really like the feel of this. It's cozy. A great place to rent a room if you have the background check to get into Sanctuary. Possibly New Sanctuary, if that's what I call it. But also a place that takes care of our synths. Just realizing they only have the one light in here. That's okay. They don't need too much light assistance. They have mechanical eyes. I think I'll add just a decoration or two to wrap things up. Let's go under OC Decorator and Decor. Put a clock on the shelf here. I've got a globe, which I will put here. Some crystal. And a single picture frame. A vase for the table. anything else. Oh yeah, our desk is totally empty back here. Put some flowers in the filing cabinet in the back. I think some flowers for the room. Oh yeah, I forgot I stole all these flowers from the Institute back in the day. I'm going to keep those rooms pretty simple. And to wrap things up, guys, here is the desk. Decorations, I think I'll use do-it-yourself again for those. Wow, I already have 32 beds here. Clutter, dino, yep, that's what I'm looking for. It's one that's got a typewriter. Oh, towel and toothbrushes. For our washer and dryer. And there's our check-in desk, and yeah guys, I think we're good to go here. And that one corner is pretty dark. The tour won't be at night. I think that's actually enough light. Man, that is kind of dark though. I know what I'll do. I'll just move this ceiling fan a bit. Let's see, mod position X -5. It's probably going to be Y actually. I'm doing this with the console just so I can not have to go back into workshop mode. It's kind of colliding with the other fan now. I'm gonna quick save. Can I disable that possibly? I can! Ah, look at that. Okay. Mark for delete. That should delete that fan accessory. Can I do the same with these stupid dead light bulbs? Disable. I can. Mark for delete. The one in the hallway too. Disable. Mark for delete. Cool. Well guys, with that bit of cleanup, this is actually the right amount of light now, I think. So this is going to be our welcome center and synth operations for Sanctuary Hills. That's going to be it for today, guys. Lots of detailing for this time around, but we're actually getting quite far down the list of this build. I'm going to be out of things to work on with you guys pretty soon because I'm working on quite a list of secret parts to this build. I think the final tour will be a two-parter probably, and a lot of fun. For now though, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all next time.